I was there, checked on Eeyore, and I realized some a-hole didn't turn the lights on out here tonight. I keep looking in the camera, but night vision camera, I was seeing part of it. I just wasn't seeing everything and didn't pay attention. So, boom, on go the lights. Hello, ladies. How we doing? Yeah, now you can see what you're not doing. And halfway from that barn to this barn, I'm out here with no hat and coat on, I don't plan on being out here long, and if I am, I'm going to call Becky and tell her to bring me a hat and a coat. I got these drops of water hitting me in the head. I don't see any babies here. I don't see any cows laying down in suspicious spots. So I'm going to bed. And it's not very warm. It's warmer than it has been at this time of night, but a lot of places on the road right now, if it's tinkling, I wouldn't want to be driving, because there's a lot of places that haven't thawed for 2 weeks. It's 33 degrees, and by the way, our low is supposed to be 40 in the morning. It's going to have to put a lot of rain down to bring it up that far, I think. But we will see what morning brings. And Brooke has to get her driver's license renewed tomorrow. So she's taking the day off to do that, because you got to make appointments. And of course, none of them are close to home when you can get in. So we won't see Blakely tomorrow. Of course, she might stop by. Then we'll get to see Blakely. Watched her in the camera last night. She seemed to be doing good. Standing here this morning staring at me like, where's my food? So, and her baby's got a hell of a milk nose, so he don't look sick. That's about the only thing I was kind of concerned about. I think Ty was too. What happens if whatever she was doing goes through the milk? And I think they're all chicken to come over here. Oh, there's one of those that eats shit. Stick in her nose. There's only 2 or 3 of them, and I still don't know why. One's standing out there in the lot looking at me. By the way, sometimes them guessers get it right, and sometimes I get surprised. Becky and I talked about it last night. It does happen once in a while, just not very often. 43 degrees this morning, and in the last, 6 hours, we've got just over 4/10 of an inch of rain. Keep in mind, it was 34 degrees when I went to bed. And sounds like it died down now. 15-mile-an-hour wind when I come out of the house. Out of the south, which we may get warmer today. I don't know. We'll find out later, but I got stuff to get done. So, down in more coffees, part of that. Otherwise, it's going to be a really long day. A chance for a few days. This is the last float I had to hook up because it was in the shop. Got theirs hooked up first, and then I wasn't sure if this one I brought it back out or not. I didn't. And you, dumbass, I'm going to put a hot wire across there for you. Yeah, talking to you. I think I need to do just more shit. Oh, did I say that? Anyway, this has been in the shop because, well, I took it off when it was freezing, and I wanted to add that drop piece to it. Dropped it 1.5 inches, which should keep the water level down at a better spot. And I thought about changing the one in the maternity pen, but I got to look and it's like, oh, I need to redo the hose and stuff in there if I do that, so it'll work right, because I don't want a funky loop in the hose. See if I got a shorter one to hook up for it, which I think I do. I think it's a 5 or a 6 foot that's on there, and I think I got a 4 foot, which would be a lot more appropriate. Anyway, that's what's happening. And Becky's busy watching auction items. We won one. I guess we're going to step up in the world a little bit. Finally have a side-by-side. It's I don't know how old it is. I think it's one of the newer, well, not new, but 2-wheel drive Gator with a Kawasaki engine in it that does not run. It turns over, doesn't run. Watching there, I haven't been out there to look at it, just the pictures. All the pictures look really good, and I did my homework. I looked up the stupid things, and the ones that are beat to shit with less hours on them are $4,500, and quite frankly, look like shit. This one, everything looks really good, and found Honda engines online that are a direct drop-in replacement. They've got the variable shiv on them and everything. All you do is drop them in and hook stuff up for $1,300. So in the end, we're less than if we found one and bought it. And like I said, it's in a lot better shape than what I was finding online. Hopefully it's actually in a lot better shape. But I'm hoping it's, maybe an easy fix. Maybe it needs a spark plug. Maybe it needs the contact for the magnet on the flywheel polished. Something like that. I mean, if the first thing we'll do is check compression. If the compression's no good, well, then that answers that question. So, and she's watching hydraulic hammer for Morty's excavator. Well, bidding on it for him. And one of those gopher bait deals, like a little subsoiler with a box on it. I've thought about them. Some people say they work okay here, some people say they don't. But with the gophers we got in places, I think it'd be worth a try. Little 3-point deal. A brand I'd never seen before, but it looks pretty decent. They're like $35. I found one, actually there's one on Craigslist about 10 miles away. Used one. They want $3,500 for it. Well, we're not paying anywhere near that, so yeah. Spend it like I got it. And now watch that float shut off clear down there, which is where it should have, in relation to the float is where it should have shut off before, but it was coming higher. Anyway, it's almost off. That's a better level than clear up at the top. He come in because he knows he's wired. Don't show up in the camera. There's one of them white rope wires across this side of the gate where Cowboy's standing. It hooks up outside. It's connected to the 2 wires, one on either side of this gate that I half redid, so they're on there. Where that gap, you can see the wire. From the water trough up, there's another rope wire. Connects to one that drops down, because it goes over the top of the top board there. There's a wire coming that drops down. And I added a wire here where we used to have one until it got torn out. It's one of them stretchy rope wires. It'll work. It was all stuff that was actually on the gate, or the gate post that used to be right where those 2 tractors are parked, the back end of them, when we had the horse pasture there. So, he's not really pushing on that far gate. He's the one pushing on it. He's going to get shocked, and he'll get scared, and hopefully they'll both leave it alone. Not what I planned on doing for the last, I don't know, probably hour and a half. Trips to the barn to the fencing trailer, and most of what I used, I got, say, off, we pulled the H brace in one piece when we pulled the other fence out. And a nice wet windy day. Thankfully, every time I've come outside, it's been right after the rain stopped. Because when it's been raining, it's been dumping pretty good. Time to check cows anyway. Well, I got this thing in here. That's really not a bad little lightweight trailer. I've seen a hell of a lot lighter built ones that are rated to the same. Brooke stopped by on her way to go to DMV and dropped Blakely off, and me being the bad YouTuber I am, I didn't get any video of that. She was having too much fun, and TV was blaring, and you know, YouTube frowns on that TV blaring stuff. And then Ty decided she was going home, so she took Blakely with her. Made Becky go help me feed big bales. She opened gates. I got my boots dirty. My feet are wet now because that one's cracked. Gets wet over here inside when I hose them off. Brand new ones came last night, but they don't have the same one anymore. You know, like normal. Change them up all the time. They got one that is all leather. I don't think it has the rubber heel cap. I know it doesn't have the, well, this one's fabric stuff up here, plus here. It's all leather though. And I'm not opposed to that. But it didn't say anywhere that it was waterproof. These are waterproof. Well, they were. The waterproof one has a rubber toe cap on it. So that's what showed up last night. I'll probably wear them tomorrow because my feet are wet today. These will get thrown in a box and stuck on the shelf for in case I need them. I may get them dried out good and try to grease the hell out of them and, you know, maybe get rid of where it's leaking. Because I know it's just it's not quite cracked, but it's partially cracked, and I'm sure that's where it is. Oh, anyway, and I gotta say, these are Carhartt boots. Becky looked back when she was trying to find them. She found them when I ordered them. Just can't, you know, they discontinued them. That drives me crazy. I've been wearing these since April. So I almost got a year out of them before it leaked. And really, if I'd have, you know, started wearing them this time of year, I'd probably make it a full year. Because they wouldn't be leaking. Or they wouldn't have been leaking. That's besides the point for now. The only complaint I had about them was the original laces didn't make it 2 months, I don't think, if they made it that long. These laces are, you know, the old standbys. You just pick them up on the shelf at the drugstore, and they always hold up. And I'm not going to start on this today. Yeah, it's looking, and yay, they ran a wire through the middle of the tongue. They cotter keyed them. Let's use Nylox and cotter key everything. I can kind of see that because I think these are one of those that either some flunky at Home Depot or Lowe's puts them together, and they spend more time reading the directions than they do putting them together. And if the directions say that has to be in there, well, then that bolt's not going to come out today. There's 3 of them. The other one's down there. Take the hitch off, pull the frickin' cord out of it, and see, I haven't even measured it yet. I mean, it's like a 2x3 roughly. I should have a piece of 2x3 long enough to fix that. And then the fun part is, of course, putting it all back together. But it really won't take long. And I'll do it right. I'll drill those pop rivets out. Here you go. There, if you really focus, if you want to know what it really is, give you a second to read all of that. Then we come over here. And yep, what do you know? Made in Chini. That's where all the material that we end up getting here anymore comes from. Anyway, I'll pop rivet that back on the new part when I get it done. And in case you can't hear, it's kind of nasty out there. I mean, Becky says, hey, it's not raining at the moment, let's go feed. And I said, okay, well, she didn't get wet, but I did. And I got done feeding, and moved the dumpster for her. She wanted it in a different spot. And then I got this thing, moved the seat cleaner, got this in here. There, the adapter's back on that. The guy that came to get the seat cleaner when the other guy was going to borrow it still had that in his pickup. So he got it back today, brought his little daughter. I don't know, she must be 5, 6 years old, maybe 7, probably more like 6. She didn't have school today. So she got to come out and see the babies. And at the time, it wasn't raining when they were here. It was just windy. I told them we'll bring her back out, in another month or so when there's a nice day. And she should be able to see a lot more babies. So that's their plan. I would have got a little video of that, but I didn't ask him. I was busy while Ty was showing them around, so that didn't happen. And it's late enough now to feed and go in, and not that it's cold out, but go in and warm up. Turn their water on and see if I can let it overflow. Look at that nice new bale out there for them. They don't even care to have grain tonight. I could sneak out of this barn and nobody'd know it. Anyway, that's pretty much all of our Friday. Last time I looked, we were at about 3/4 inch of rain for the day, and that's been a couple hours ago. And it's been doing this ever since. So, nice wet Friday. And tomorrow's supposed to be wet. And Sunday it's supposed to snow. Awesome combinations. We had the power flicker earlier, and I figured the way the wind was blowing and raining, I figured it was a limb on a power line or something. And oh no, Nick sent a picture off Post Point. Car wreck on the road over that direction. And then here a little while ago, there's another one in Forest Grove. Both of them took poles out. Huh. People ain't figured, I better set this off. See, I told you I'd run it over. Almost did. People tend to forget when it hasn't rained for most of the month, because our 2 1/4 inches we did have, that all came in the first 2 days, maybe 3 days of the month. There hasn't been any rain since then. But they have put plenty of de-icer down in a few places. And once the de-icer hits, or the rain hits the de-icer, yeah, well, that's kind of gets slick, especially if they put too much de-icer down. Oh well. Thank you for watching, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Have a great Saturday, everybody.